Hi everyone, and welcome to Sutherland Nature Sanctuary. So my name's Ian Ableson. I'm the Stewardship Manager for Six Rivers Land Conservancy. So we are a nonprofit land conservancy that helps protect natural areas throughout southeast Michigan. We operate in Oakland, Macomb, Lapeer, Genesee, and St. Clair County. Now, a lot of you may have seen sometime last summer in 2019, we were sending emails and making social media posts about a bat monitoring project that we were doing with the Detroit Zoological Society. So for today's StewTalk, I want to talk a little bit about bat monitoring because it's actually a really interesting subject. So bats are kind of a difficult animal to study. They're difficult to get any really good, solid data on for a few different reasons. First of all, they're nocturnal. So they're out and about and active when we tend not to be. And second of all, they are flying. They're up in the air, which has its own inherent difficulties when we want to try and study them and learn things about them. So there are a few different methods that we've developed for studying bats. One of the more traditional methods that people still use today to get really good data on bats is called mist netting. So a mist net looks like a big old volleyball net that you set up in an area that you know the bats are going to be flying. So somewhere like this might be a good spot to set up a mist net right across a river. A lot of people have set up mist nets in areas like this because a lot of the times water will attract insects and insects will attract bats who are coming to prey on them. So across a river might be good. Sometimes people will set them up across the entrance or exit of a known roost. And the hope is that the bats will fly into the mist net, kind of get a little tangled up in the net, at least enough for you to be able to pull the bat down, identify it, take some measurements, take some data, and then let it go live its happy bat life. But there are some disadvantages to mist netting. First of all, you're only able to survey a relatively small area with that mist net. And second of all, you already kind of have to know the land. You have to know where there are going to be bats flying in order to really have the most efficient mist setting data collection night. And lastly, it does cause some stress to the animal to fly into this mist net and then be pulled down and have data taken on it. So there are other methods that are used as well, and a lot of those methods hinge on something that bats do called echolocation. So echolocation are sounds that the bats produce that are too high for us to hear with our human ears, but we've developed technology that can listen to those sounds. So this is sort of an old school traditional bat box. So I can turn it on, and then you can set the frequency on the bat box, and any sound that the bat box hears at that frequency, it will translate it into a little chirp. So ideally, you set the frequency to be somewhere around what you think the bats in the area are going to echolocate at, and the box will chirp on you if there are bats flying around echolocating. But this is really kind of limited in terms of data collection. It can basically tell you presence or absence of bats, but that's really about it. But these days, there is another option. So this is an Echometer Touch. It's developed by a company called Wildlife Acoustics, and this little box here can plug right into a smartphone or an iPad or anything like that, and there's a software associated with this little Echometer Touch that can give us a lot more data on the echolocation that this box is picking up. So in particular, it will translate that acoustic data into a visual format, into something that we can see. It looks a little like a wavelength graph because that's basically what it is. And on top of that, the software that we have at this point is good enough to take a guess at the species that you're seeing. So it's not perfect. It can't often guarantee, oh, this is the bat that's flying above you. But if you input what region you're in, it can give you its best two guesses. And then that data will often have to be corroborated either by someone who specializes in bat acoustics or by other algorithms that have been developed by researchers. to get the best idea of what that bat probably was. And there are huge advantages to this. You can drive around an area and collect data from a much larger region than you could with something like a MistNet. You don't have to sort of spend the whole night out collecting data. This is something that can be done in a fairly large region in right around an hour. But there are drawbacks too. Obviously, once again, all this is really telling you is presence or absence of bats and a little bit of species distribution. But it's the method that we were using in our project with the Detroit Zoological Society. We were really happy with the sort of data that we were able to get. We were able to identify a lot of different bats in the northern Oakland and southern Lapeer County regions. Alright, so that's sort of what I've got for this video. So once again, my name's Ian Ableson. I'm the Stewardship Manager for Six Rivers Land Conservancy. And if you're interested in supporting our work of protecting natural areas throughout southeast Michigan, you can donate at sixriversrlc.org. Thanks everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy the rest of your day.